Welcome to Neurosales in action, turning emotional intelligence into sales performance. So today we are going, today we are going from a lab to sales floor. We will see what the science tells us about the selling with emotions and how you can apply it in your daily sales conversations. So that's the topic. My name is Eduardo Mota. I'm a sales trainer. I study in Neuro business school too, and I am going to present to you my thesis. I am also a leadership teacher in a Portuguese university, and I work with a sales team, and I use a behavioral tool. I don't know if you have already heard about the DISC profile. Okay, I work with the DISC profile, and I use to work with neuroscience, emotional intelligence, and behavioral economics tools with the sales teams. Okay, that's my job, and that's the way I do work with my teams. So we are going, by the end of this session, you will understand how emotional intelligence predicts and enhances sales performance. You are going to recognize self-awareness, emotional observation, and adaptability as trainable sales skills. And you are also will see how we can apply simple neuroscience-based tools to strengthen client relationships and results. Okay? So, what are we going to see? What is today's reality? Let's start with your world today. First place, now we have hybrid sales. Hybrid sales means we are no longer just face-to-face. We are jumping between video calls, emails, WhatsApp, phone, and each channel has a different emotional bandwidth. On Zoom, for instance, we miss 60% of body language. On phone, we lose facial expressions completely. And the challenge is maintaining emotional connection across these, how could I say, fragmented interactions. That's where self-awareness and emotional observation become critical. We need to work harder to read what isn't visible. The second point we have now, it is informed customers. Informed customers know more about your product than you sometimes expect. They have read reviews, compared prices online, watched competitor demos. They don't need more information. They need help. They need help making the emotional leap from I understand this to I want this. And that's where we help them bridge the gap between their rational research and their emotional decision. Another characteristic of our times, it is, automated message. Automated messages are everywhere. Chatbots, pre-written emails, CRM triggers. But what could I say about this automated message? Are they efficient? Yes, they are. But they have no emotion. They are emotionless. Clients receive more than 100 sales messages weekly, and most of them generic. When you finally connect personally, that human moment becomes your competitive edge. But if you are still in automation mode, talking specs and features without reading their emotional state, you blend into the noise. Emotional intelligence helps you stand out as human alternative. And finally, and I think consecutively, we have the personalized interactions. They happen when we treat clients and customers like transactions. When we are mentally always thinking, next hamster, please, or when we are so focused on eating quota that we forget each client brings their own emotional contexts. They bring stress from their boss, budget pressures, past disappointments, and when interactions feel transactional, trust erodes and the decisions slow down. Emotional intelligence rebuilds that human connection that automation killed. And that's why I have here fragment client journey needs higher need for emotional intelligence. Why? We have fragment channels. We have emotional less automation. We have over-informed customers and the transactional interactions. The result? Well, customers are more cautious, decisions take longer, and emotional misreads cost us deals. That's exactly why the next slide matters. Because António Damásio, was right. We are feeling machines that think. And people, do you agree with these 4 topics about today's reality? It is important for me that this becomes a talk and not a way where I talk alone, a monologue. Do you agree with these 4 topics?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Okay, Elena. Have you already talked in your master about António Damásio? Don't you know who is António Damásio?
Not yet for me.
Not yet.
No.
Okay, not yet. Okay, I'm going to tell you who is António Damásio. António Damásio is probably the reason why we are here. Why? Because in 19th, he wrote a book, and the title of the book is Descartes' Error. Have you all read about this book? Well, it is the first step of the, how could I say, the neuro business, the first step for the neuroscience. How could I say? Well, António Damásio summarizes this idea very clearly. We are not thinking machines that feel, we are feeling machines that think. Whoa, amazing. We are not thinking machines that feel, we are feeling machines that think. In other words, emotion plays a central role in decision making. Customers often experience an emotional reaction first and then rationalize their decisions afterwards. And pay attention. If we ignore emotions, both our own and those of our customers, we may be ignoring one of the most powerful drivers of commercial decisions. And well, what are the guiding questions behind this workshop? First, how does emotional intelligence, particularly self-awareness, influence a salesperson's capacity to adapt behavior and communication? How does emotional intelligence support the ability to observe emotional cues and patterns in customers? And how does that affect outcomes? And how does emotional intelligence strengthen adaptability to customers' needs across the sales cycle, and what impact does that have on performance? These questions come from my master thesis in neuro business, where I studied how self-awareness, emotional observation, and adaptability predict and enhance sales performance using real commercial data. Today, I will share the practical side of that research. So, we are going to start with neurosales and emotional intelligence. And we will combine what we know about the brain and emotions, with the practical sales behavior. So, first, can you tell me what is emotional intelligence in sales? So, guys, please talk with me. I'm alone in Portugal. I need that you change your ideas with me. What do you think? What is emotional intelligence in sales? Okay. I'm going to share what Salovey and Mayer define. And they define emotional intelligence as the ability to perceive, understand, regulate, and use an emotions in ourselves and others to achieve better outcomes. In the context of sales, this definition becomes particularly relevant. Why? Sales professionals operate in environments where emotional signals, both internal and external, constantly influence behavior and decision making. But what means better outcomes in sales? Well, better outcomes in sales means better conversations, better relationships, better decisions, and of course, better numbers. When we talk about the emotional intelligence framework, we talk about the 4 quadrants, and this is the classic emotional intelligence framework. We have 2 dimensions, self and others, and actions and awareness. So, self-awareness and self-management means how you deal with your own emotions and impulse. When we talk about social awareness and relationship management, means how you read others and, very important, how you manage the interaction. Today, we will zoom in on 3 practical pillars that matter most in sales. So, in this workshop, we will work with emotional intelligence in a very simple way. We have self-awareness, we have emotional observation, and we are going to talk about the three-pillar adaptability. When we talk about self-awareness, it means noticing my own emotional state and how it influences by my behavior. When I talk about self-awareness, I'm looking to me. When I'm talking about emotional observation, means reading the customer's emotional signals. What means if I'm in a meeting, it means looking to you. And finally, adaptability refers to adjusting our behavior to the situation because I wanted to create a we. When we talk about the buying brain from a neuroscience perspective, buying decisions involve two systems. We have the emotional brain, particularly structures such as the limbic system and the amygdala, which are constantly scanning the environment for signals of threat, reward, and social meaning. And pay attention, this process happens extremely quickly. Only afterwards does the rational brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex, engage in analytical thinking. And this leads to a simple principle: emotion first, logic second. Well, nowadays, we can talk about our brain as a process like first emotion, then rational. This means that we talk not about parts of the brain, but we talk about the brain systems, okay? Which means that they work together, not first stage, second stage, no, they work together. So, effective sales conversations align with what the client feels, then support that with facts and numbers. And that's the reason why I wrote no emotion, no decision. And if I have no decision, I don't have a sale. I can't close a sale. According to the famous neuroscientist António Damasio somatic marker hypothesis helps explain this process. According to this theory, emotional experience create psychological markers that influence future decisions. Clients often feel the directions of a decision before they can explain it rationally. For example, if a client previously had a negative experience with a supplier, their emotional system may already be in defensive mode before the conversation even begins. And, we can say that understanding these emotional signs is therefore critical in sales. Research over decades shows that training and experience matter more than born salesperson traits. I don't know. Churchill had developed a meta-analysis, and the first scientific paper that we have in sales, it was about an experience in 1918. Look, after more than 100 years, we are still thinking, what are the traits, what are the best characteristics for a salesperson? And well, in that time, almost more than 100 years ago, they can't discover what are the traits. And this big meta-analysis, this is the big conclusion. Training and experience matter more than born salesperson traits. Second, adaptability and interpersonal skills are stronger predictors of sales success. Emotional and behavioral competencies are dynamic and trainable. This is an encouraging message for companies investing in sales training. So, we can say that building emotional skills is not a soft skill. It is a performance investment. And well, if you agree, we are going to make an exercise. Just one moment, that I am going to share a QR code that you are going to use your mobile phone. Just a moment, please, okay? One moment. I'm sorry. Can you use your camera to scan this QR code, please? Okay. Before we continue, like I said before, we are going to pause for a short exercise. And I would like you reflect on the following questions that I am going to put here. Okay, just one moment. I don't know if you are already. I suppose we are. So I'm going to start. Just one moment. Okay. One moment. Where do emotions eat you most in sales interactions? It is in the opening, handling objections, negotiation or close, or after sales. Okay? Imagine that you are a customer. Where do emotions affect you in most sales interactions. Okay. We have 4 people that say that the emotions affect more in opening, when it is in handling objections, 4 in negotiation and closing, and 1 in after sales. Okay. Is it possible to talk with a person that have shows opening or have shoes opening? Nobody wants to talk with me? Okay. And handling objections. Who have chosen handling
Yeah.
objection?
Yeah, I have chosen it.
Okay. Aditi, thanks a lot for being here. So Aditi, have you chosen as a salesperson? I don't know if you work in sales, or have you chosen as a customer?
I have worked as a client manager actually at an advertising agency.
Okay.
So, not exactly sales, but it was my experience that sometimes when there were objections or disagreements, that is when the client and I would also get a bit more emotional than other times.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The point here is, Aditi, what kind of service do your company sell?
We were kind of delivering everything from
Okay.
designing to digital marketing to I don't know, brand building services, logo design.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Aditi. And what is the emotion which is more difficult for you to deal?
So sometimes when there is dissatisfaction, for example, if we are running a digital marketing campaign and the results are a bit slow or not as per the client needs it to be, but sometimes the client does not understand the nitty-gritties of it, that it might take some time for it to actually convert into business. And then when they would get dissatisfied or compare the results with other competitors, then handling those dissatisfied feelings or disagreements was more difficult at times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Aditi, today we are going to see how you can manage more efficiently that kind of situation. Okay,
Okay.
Aditi?
Okay.
Okay.
Looking
Now,
forward.
okay, Aditi, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Now, who have chosen negotiation or closing?
I did.
Okay, Anucha.
I did because handling objections, I feel like you can still find a way to take the customer back. But when they're closing, like, I'm not interested, I think it's harder.
Okay, okay. And do you work in sales? No, you work in financial
No,
department.
I do credit management. It's very basic finance, but I did sales before,
Okay,
and it was the hardest for me.
okay. Anucha, what I'm trying to tell to you is this, my point of view, and this is sales for me doesn't mean always goods or service. Sales for me means trying to sell, for instance, an idea. Okay? So, for you, when you are trying to negotiate or when someone tells you no for idea for you, is this difficult for you too, Anucha?
If I had to choose in those 4 options, yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Anucha, we are going to see how you can better communicate in those situations.
Okay.
Okay? What I'm trying to say, first thing, and this is a cue, okay? It is very important we can name the emotion that we are feeling in the hard times. Because when we name it, it is easier to deal with it. And why? Because when I name, that information is going to my cortic system, pre-cortical system, which means that I will take more time, I will think, and I will find a solution. And for instance, when I think, I feel anger, okay, do I need to feel anger about this guy doesn't want to go to that restaurant? No, probably no. Okay. So I can find a win-win solution, for instance. Okay. But we are going to see how we can do it in these three pillars: self-awareness, observation, and adaptability. And Anucha, if you were my student, I will give you A plus because you put your camera on. Congratulations. So, and who have chosen after sales?
Hi, Eduardo, I did.
Hi, Ruben. You, you choose after sales?
Yeah, let me tell you why.
Okay.
Recently, a couple of weeks ago, I bought a smart TV.
Okay.
And all the process was easy. I
Mm-hmm.
entered the store, the sales guy attended me immediately, gave me all the technical explanation. I went directly to the, you know, the not so expensive one
Mm-hmm.
with, you know, a good brand. Probably not the best because Sony and all these are very
Mm-hmm.
expensive. So I went to Sharp,
Okay.
and then I liked the price and everything, and the decision was easy. So I didn't have any problem with opening, negotiation, anything like that. And but when I went home and I tried, I installed it and I started, using it with all these functions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I realized that where can I mute the sound?
Yes.
I can't find it. So I started to not panic, but start to feel some kind of regret and fear. Oh, maybe I should have waited a little bit more. So I started to complain to myself and all that. But
Okay.
usually that's what normally happens to me. My strong emotions are after sales.
Okay. I think that happens in sales when our reality doesn't match with our expectations. And probably it is what you feel. You feel that buying that smart TV, everything will be easy, and suddenly you can't find the mute button.
Yes, yeah, that, and also another functions, etc. But after a couple of weeks now, this is something like you started to accept what you
Mm-hmm.
did. You start to accept your decision, and now I'm fine. I mean, I love it
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm sorry. We have already do it the count exercise. So let's start with the first pillar, self-awareness. Okay? Well, self-awareness in sales means noticing what I feel, as I feel it, and understanding how it affects my behavior with the client. Self-awareness means salespeople catching these patterns in real time. When stressed, there are salespeople who talk faster and push harder without noticing. And sometimes when they are feeling insecure or rejected, there are salespeople who go completely passive, avoiding difficult questions, letting silence hang, or not closing properly. The most aware salespeople are of these patterns, the more choice they have in how they respond to clients. So the point here is not, okay, the great salespeople are who talk faster, or the great salespeople are who talk slowly. No, the great salespeople are who they see himself and know how they should adapt to the others, how they should respond to the customers. When I use this work, when I realize this work in the research behind this workshop, emotional intelligence was measured using a emotional intelligence scale, should self-report, based on the model developed by Salovey and Mayer. They are the parents of emotional intelligence. And after training, and I have trained a group of 15 salespeople of a big watch company in Portugal. After training, an interesting result emerged. The discrepancy between the salesperson's self-evaluation and the leader's evaluation of emotional intelligence decreased significantly. This indicates greater self-awareness and more realistic self-perception. After working with them, after they work with self-awareness, it matches much better with the leader evaluation. The second pillar, and we are going to look now to the second pillar, it is emotional observation, which means reading the customer. So, the second pillar involves emotional observation, and the research on emotional expressions, particularly by Paul Ekman, identifies 7 universal emotions. Do you know, it's not a movie, but do you know what is the name? In the Netflix, there is a serial, and the name it is Lie to Me. Do you know the name of that series? Okay. That series is based on this research by Paul Ekman, and he identified 7 universal emotions. And these universal emotions, we can say that they are our customer emotional alphabet, because they are going to tell us what the customers are feeling. So, Paul Ekman identifies happiness, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, contempt, and finally surprise. And you need to think of this as the customer's emotional alphabet that we want to learn to read. Do you know why Paul Ekman identify these 7 emotions as universal emotions? Do you know why? Why do you think it is universal? Well, I'm going to explain to you. This guy, Paul Ekman, that unfortunately passed away last November, he traveled around the world. And what identify? The way I feel happiness and the way I express happiness with my face, with my body, it is the same way that people express happiness in India, Romania, Nigeria, and including in remote people that don't have contact with the another countries. We all express these emotions in the same way, with the same expressions in our voice, in our body, and in our face. That's the reason why he called 7 universal emotions. And what I do? Well, in the study, I have trained salespeople to recognize these emotional expressions more accurately. And after training, they made fewer mistakes and that fewer the number of unstated responses with identifying emotions. Unsafe, which means they have fewer no doubts about the answering. So the average errors decreased almost 67%. And fewer non-responses or I don't know responses, it decreases almost 60%. And which is the highlight? Well, practicing emotional observation improved both the accuracy and the speed of interpretation, which is crucial in live sales conversations. 2 weeks ago, I was talking about this in a university, and I have there as a student a PhD psychologist that was learning a sales program. And that girl studies criminals in Portugal. And she has a similar study that guys, that criminals can't recognize it. It is impossible to them to recognize the emotions that the others are feeling. She showed them some pictures, and for them, it was impossible to know if the person is feeling contempt or, or it is feeling happiness. Okay? So, what to observe in clients? When interacting with customers, emotional signals may appear in multiple channels. Facial microexpressions, like tensions, smiles that don't reach that highs. Body posture, which means posture distance, gestures, orientations, tone of voice, gestures, and developing awareness, of these signals can significantly improve communication quality. For the next slides, I will show you a face. And please answer my first questions and what emotion do you see here? What is the emotion you can see here in this picture?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Okay, it is happiness. That's true. Okay. So imagine that you are in a sales conversation. If your customer show this face, what one question would you ask this client next? Imagine that you are presenting your proposal, or for instance, if you receive an objection and he show this face, what do you ask him? Imagine that you present your proposal and you see this face. Okay, this could be a good phase to close the deal, for instance. And I could say, okay, I can see you like our proposal. Can we close the sale and prepare the contract? He is happy. Probably is prepared to next step. Let me see the message here. Okay. Imagine that this happens with Aditi and she's handling an objection. If someone show this face, I can see, okay, are you happy with the solution I have found for you? And I can confirm this. Is this making sense to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. I observe the emotion and okay, I can detect the emotion. So the next question should answer that emotion. Let's go to the next emotion. What emotion you can see here?
Contempt.
Yes, contempt. Congratulations, Adi. There is a lot of persons that can't see this emotion. Okay. What one questions would you ask this customer next? The other guy was happy, okay? And I said that. But this guy, this customer, is contempt. What will we ask him? Or her in this case?
Something like, do you have any doubts or questions about the product or service that we are talking about?
For instance, or I can be a little more assertive and I could say, don't you like the solution I have found to you? Because it is probably what she is feeling right now.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense, Aditi?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, I guess I won't ask her any questions. I would
Yes, indeed.
my service because she takes contempt, as you said. So maybe I'll explain more about my service before asking her questions.
Okay, okay.
Yeah?
Makes
That's
great. Because contempt means that the other person is feeling superior to me or to my company. So your question makes all sense, and it is what are the weaknesses of my service, for instance? Do you agree with these questions? Hint.
For me, maybe I would show up my strength points rather than asking her about my weakness. Because if I asked her about my weakness in my service, maybe she would think, yeah, there's a weakness there. You know what I mean? Maybe that's my point of view.
With this face, this
Yeah.
means that she's thinking about some
You already-
weakness that I don't know why. What is? I'm sorry.
What is the question again? Sorry, I didn't understand.
Okay. With this face, she's thinking about a weakness, but I don't know what is the weakness that she found in my company.
Yeah, that was my point. Maybe I won't mention the weakness. I would rather like focus more on the strength.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I understand what you say, but to deal or to clear that idea of her, I need to know what is the weakness. There are some problems that it is better if we deal, and to deal with that problems, I need to know what is the problem in her mind or in her head. But I understand your point of view.
Yeah. Of course, if I like know already what like she's thinking about, if I don't know what is the
Of
weakness,
course.
I would ask her, of course, in this case.
Of course. Okay. Okay, now we have this emotion. Which is this emotion?
Anger.
Anger. That's right. It is anger. This is the type of the customers that you don't like. That's true, Aditi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Me too. Me too. Okay. When you face a customer like this, what we can ask? Well, first
Why
of
he's
all,
angry, maybe?
sorry, Indy, I don't understand.
I would ask him why he's angry. Like,
Why
what is
he's
the
angry?
problem? What is?
Okay.
How can I help him? And so
Okay.
on.
Okay. Well, first of all, when you face with an angry customer, please let him talk everything until the end. Because if you try to stop it, the anger will increase. So it is better if he talk everything. Let him talk everything. Okay? After that, okay, you can say, okay, I understand your point of view. Can we try to find a solution together? And it will be possible for us to find a solution, and sometimes it won't be. But in this type of situations with your customers, please don't stop the customers. Let them talk until the end. Okay? Do you agree? Do you want to say another solution?
No, I think it makes sense because they can also feel that you are listening to them, and that makes them feel being attended or given importance to. Right?
Okay. Okay. Great, Aditi. So now we are going for the third pillar, and it is adaptability. And what is adaptability? Adaptability is the ability to adjust your behavior, communication, emotional tone to the client's style and state. And why does it matter? Because it reduces friction, increases trust, and shortens decision time. Studies also show that adaptability is a strong predictor of business performance. And in my study, I have worked with this behavioral tool, which is DISC. Have you already heard this behavioral tool?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, that's great. Anucha, no. Okay. Simple lens, like I used to call discipline, was created by William Moulton Marston. He was a Harvard psychologist with a PhD, and in his 1928 book, Emotions of Normal People, he has created this tool. He studied how normal people behave in different environments and identified 4 main patterns we will see every day in sales conversations. One of the core of this tool is the platinum rule. And what is the platinum rule? Platinum rule says, treat others as they want to be treated. We were taught by the golden rule. Do you know what is the golden rule? What your parents told you to do in the school?
Treat others the way you want yourself to be treated.
Yes, that happens with me, Aditi. And according to William Marston, it is wrong because we should treat others as they wanted to be treated. We should adapt to how the others prefer to communicate and prefer to decide. Do you agree with this insight? When I discovered this for the first time, it was very powerful to me and impact my personal and professional life. It is treat the others how they want to be treated. It is powerful. Do you agree or no?
But does it mean that sometimes you have to just do something that you don't like just because the other person wants it that way?
No. This means, for instance, Aditi, do you prefer people that communicate faster or slower?
Slower.
Okay. Do you prefer people which are task-oriented or people-oriented?
Task-oriented.
Okay. This means, Aditi, if we have a deal to solve or to close, I need to be prepared with data and talk to you very slowly because this will give the trust to close the deal.
Okay, I understand.
Okay?
Yeah.
Imagine that, for instance, Aditi, I meet you, okay? And I am a Portuguese guy, okay, Aditi?
Mm-hmm.
In Portugal, what happens? When we see the other people, we give them 2 kisses. In France, it's worse. It is 4 kisses. And imagine, Aditi, that we meet for the first time, and I say, Aditi, how are you? Please come here. A big hug and 2 kisses. Okay, I have a proposal here. Can I present to you? How do you feel with this, Aditi?
A little bit awkward. Maybe.
Okay. Am I respecting you? No.
Yeah, no.
But I am treating you the way I would love that you treat me.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
not correct.
Right.
Do you understand now this point of view?
Yeah, I get it.
This isn't not to do what you don't want to do. This is respect the others. It's not going against your values. It is adjusting your communication to the others. It is completely different.
Yeah. Understood.
Okay, Aditi?
Yeah. Thank you.
No, you don't need to thank. Welcome. So, like I told you before, we have 4 main behaviors, okay? 4 main patterns, I'm sorry. And what are the patterns? Well, we have these. Some people call it dominance. We have I's. Some people call it influence. We have has. Some people call it serene. And we have C. Some people call it conscientious. Well, what do you have here? The D's, they are oriented to goals and to tasks. What do they think? They think, which are the tasks I need to do to achieve my goal? And how do they behave? Well, they are direct, they are result focused, and they take fast decisions. If they see something that will allow them to achieve the goal faster, okay, they will close it. Then we have the highs, and the highs achieve goals and people. They are social, they are enthusiastic, they are people-oriented. Then we have has, and they are people-oriented, and they love process and systems. They are calm, loyal, prefer stability and reassurance. They love predictability. And finally, we have Cs. They are they love process and systems, and they are task-oriented. They love rules. They are analytical, detail-oriented. They need data, and they need structure. These guys, D and I's, they talk fast. These guys, C and S, they usually talk slowly. Aditi, do you see yourself as analytical, detail-oriented? And do you need data and structure?
No. So
Okay.
we had,
Probably you are Maria.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Okay. Makes sense to you, Aditi?
yeah, yes.
Okay. Aditi, I have a thing to tell to you.
Okay.
60% of the population in Portugal has S in this behavior profile.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For instance, let me see if I can talk with a guy in this classroom. Axel. Are you there, Axel?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, that's great. I feel very lonely with all these women here, Axel. Axel, where are you from?
I'm from Venezuela.
Oh, that's great, Venezuela. Ruben was here before. He is from Venezuela too. He's a greatest neuroscience teacher in your country. So, Axel, where do you see yourself? More in D, I, C, or S?
I see more in C. Sorry, in
In
S.
C? Okay. What is your job, Axel?
Well, right now I'm working in a restaurant, but
Okay.
my career I am a clinical psychology.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Axel.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with me. Okay.
Pleasure.
Now we have here Biliana. Hello, Biliana. Biliana Todorova. Okay, it's not possible. So, Anucha, where do you see yourself?
I see myself in the I section for sure.
Yes, social, enthusiastic, people focused.
Yes, I wouldn't say S because I'm not calm. I'm usually trying to be very funny if I have to deal or to negotiate with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And enthusiastic is like my main feature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I'm still people focused. So yeah, I think I would be in that case for
Okay.
sure.
Thanks, Anucha. Well, what is why I use this tool? Well, different styles need different language, needs different pace, needs different arguments. We don't need to label anyone formally. We simply use this lens to adjust how we talk to them, how we communicate to them. Okay? Someone is trying to talk? No? Okay, I'm sorry. Well, these three pillars work together. Self-awareness, how I manage myself, emotional observation, how I read the customer, and adaptability, how I adjust the relationship. And when they are aligned, we create better conditions for good decisions and, for me, the most important, long-term business. And what did we find in this study? Like I told you before, I have worked with a sales team, okay? They are the leaders in Portugal. They are the leaders in Portugal in watches and smartwatches. And in the study, all salespeople improved their results after the training. On average, around 30% growth. Those with the highest growth also reduced emotional recognition errors and showed greater behavioral adaptation. Top performers combine the natural drive for results with more care and detail in their adapted style. Dominance plus empathy and structure. So, let's pull everything together and turn into action, because knowledge without action is nothing for me. So, self-awareness improvements. First, self-awareness. Well, the discrepancy between self and leader emotional intelligence ratings dropped about 7% to almost zero. This means salespeople saw themselves more clearly and could manage themselves better in front of customers. Here you can see SP means salespersons. This is the first stage. Salesperson 1, salesperson 2, by the way. And in the first stage, look, the difference is bigger. Look, you have here, you could see here, in salesperson 13, for instance, he see himself in emotional intelligence like 144, and the leader see this guy as 84. Look, he see himself like one of the greatest in emotional intelligence, and the leader said, no, this is the lowest. The difference, it was 42%. After the training, look what happens. He has increased the emotional intelligence a lot, and now the difference has decreased. Here it is where you can find the difference. In red, you can see the leader observation. It is under than the out salespeople see himself. And in green, it means the leader consider their emotional intelligence better than they see himself. Then, second, emotional observation. Average emotional recognition errors dropped by more than half. Then, what conclusion? Fewer recognition errors mean better decisions in key emotional moments during the sales cycle. Finally, adaptability improvements. Salespeople with the highest commercial growth also showed better alignment with their leaders' evaluations and, in some cases, adjusted their own self-assessments. In short, more adaptability means higher sales growth. So, I'm trying to bring to here 3 neurosales habits to make this practical, and I do believe that if you do this in your jobs, but if you do this also in your personal life, this will help you a lot. So, self-awareness habit. For example, before each meeting, check your emotional state in one word. I would prefer check and write your emotional state in one word. Because probably if you do that, you can think about it, and if it is reasonable, the feeling you are having. Observation habit. Always scan face, body, and voice before answering an objection. Because when people is telling us an objection, sometimes we receive that objection like an objection to us, not to the service or to the idea we are presenting. Adaptability habit. In every meeting, identify the client's likely style and adjust at least one thing: your pace, the level of detail, or type of questions. So, closing and next step. This research suggests that emotional competencies are not abstract qualities. They can be developed, measured, and translated into tangible commercial outcomes. For commercials, emotional intelligence may, therefore, represent one of the most important capabilities for sustainable performance. To close, soft skills are measurable. Soft skills boost sales. Soft skills can be developed. The real question is, how many opportunities have we lost, not because of price or product, but because we misread the customer's emotions? How many opportunities? And my invitation is, choose one upcoming sales conversation where you will apply these ideas and put these ideas consciously for the first time. Self-awareness, observation, and adaptability. So guys, what do you think about these 3 pillars? Anucha, have you already thought these before?
If I already thought about it before?
Yes, about self-awareness habit, observation habit, and adaptability habit.
Not really in that way, like separately like that.
Okay. And the questions I have here, and I don't think like sales like commercial sales, but how you can present your ideas, for instance, and it is, do you think you have already lost opportunities because you misread the customer's emotions, the other's emotions?
For sure, because I've been a customer, and sometimes what stopped me was not the price. So
Okay, that's great, and that means that you have a good self-awareness. That's great, Anucha. Aditi.
I don't think I've lost clients or
Okay.
opportunities, but as when I was a client or a customer, I have sometimes given up on a product or a service because I wasn't understood properly or received well from the person who was selling the product. And I have applied these steps in my personal life, but not in my professional life. So,
Okay.
treating others as they would like to be treated, for example, when it's your friends or parents. So, I've kind of used it in my personal space, but now I get it that even in professional space, it could help me a lot. Like, that is how I can make a meeting more successful or a deal more successful.
Okay, Aditi, that's great. And well, that is, and it is important for me to tell you this. This isn't like a marathon that, well, you are going to learn, and after learning, you can apply immediately. No, this is a long-term self-improvement that you need to do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Because sometimes, well, our amygdala doesn't allow us to think better, and we can become, how could I say, emotional blind. Okay?
Yeah.
About that moment.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can check your colleague's opinion. Monica, I don't know if Monica can talk with us. I don't think so. Lena?
Yes. So I want to share my opinion about this too. In my company, I need to be involved in different type of tasks. It includes not only sales, but negotiations too, customer service too, satisfaction, and etc. So the first thing I learned was to be first of all, really adaptive and to have high empathy because, for example, when there are really hard cases, the first thing I do is to listen my customers, my potential customers, and I always try to be in their shoes and to be really friendly and to try to help them. And every time this racing helps me to be good in result and goal oriented. In my case, the main thing is adaptability, and second is observational habit, and then self-awareness, because I kind of prioritize vice versa than we were talking, because first of all, I'm always oriented what they want, what they feel, and then I'm trying to be the flexible to fit in this condition, and time to time I'm trying to kind of be as kind as I want to be in this situation. But I totally agree with all these things because whole 3 years I'm working in this field. These three things helps me every day, every case, every negotiation to be goal oriented. So for me, it is like 100% trust.
Okay, Elena. And in these three pillars, self-awareness, observation, and adaptability, what do you think is the pillar that you need to improve more right now?
Maybe self-awareness will be better to control my emotions.
Okay.
And maybe it will be good to work on adaptability habits too.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Well, now I'm going to try to talk with Hind. Hind? Okay, probably she can talk now. So I'm going to Axel. Hi, Axel. Axel. Hello.
Here.
Okay, Axel. Okay, Axel. What is the main concept that you take with you about this workshop?
The main concept. Well, Corrida was listening and reading. I think that is mostly that we have to be more like accurate to doing like the sales, and we have to be more aware. I don't know if this aware the word, like more focuses or involved to know the brain process that everything that is happening in us inside to in that process, and also that to connect or read the customer properly during the sales process will be more effective for us to be more more accurately in the process.
Okay, Axel. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to try to talk with Melanie. Melanie, can we talk?
Hello, yes.
Hello, Melanie.
So I suppose the question is the same as the one you asked Axel, no?
Yes, could be that. What is
Well,
the main concept that you look to this workshop and said, okay, this is the main concept I bring from this workshop?
Well, I think the main thing, the basic topic of this workshop will be empathy in sales and the connection.
Yes.
The importance, not necessarily of, like Axel said, awareness, but the ability to adapt.
Okay.
The ability to see, the ability to, like I say, empathize in order to get the results we want in sales. Also, the different personas that there are when interacting in the sales world.
Okay. Okay, Melanie, do you know, I don't know if you have already studied this concept in some model in your master. Do you know which are the two main parts of our brain linked to empathy?
No, sadly, this is my first month.
Okay, Melanie. So, look, I'm going to share with you, okay? And it is insula, okay? Insula is responsible for the way we feel the emotions and can see the emotions. And there is another neurons, very important, and it is called mirror neurons.
Yeah, the mirror neurons.
Okay, that's true. Okay. And they are very important in the way we are more or less empathic in our relationships. Melanie, in the next time I go to the McDonald's, I will remember you. Okay, Melanie? Because I will think, well, the cap, this M, it's not about McDonald's, but it is about Melanie. And I didn't know until today.
Yeah, it's a curious name.
Thanks, Melanie.
Thank you too for this very interesting workshop.
Okay, thanks, Melanie. Karina Malikova, can we talk?
Hello, yes, sure.
Oh,
I really liked the workshop. Actually, it was very interesting. And I really loved this phrase that you said, like, you have to treat others not as you would like to be treated. You have to think more about this person.
Yes, I'm going to put the phrase here. Let me see. And it's here.
Actually, I never thought about this because my parents always were telling me, like, you have to treat others as you want to be treated. And we're all different, and sometimes other person, as you give this good example about giving 2 kisses or maybe 4 kisses, I'm trying to understand the person before saying something or before starting doing any action. And with the clients, the same. I own a shop in Barcelona, and I like last 8 years I'm working with clients, and I feel like I improved a lot. If we're comparing the first year when I started, I just couldn't understand the emotions of the clients. Now it's much better. But still, sometimes some people, it's hard to read the emotions. So sometimes I have to guess, and I can make an error and not being right and offering maybe some product when the client wants another, or it's hard sometimes. It depends on the client.
And what do you sell, Karina?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
You are in the sales role, right?
Let's say, yeah, I'm the owner. Sometimes I can work in the reception, so it's like the sale person, yeah. And especially, I wanted to say it's hard when it's by message. When it's direct contact, I can try to understand better. But when it's a message, sometimes the person just stops answering and you don't know why. And you can't ask because the person doesn't answer.
Okay, I'm sorry. My cat appears here. I'm sorry. I don't know if you have any problems about my cat is here. If you have, I can put the cat away.
No, just
Kids.
Okay. Karina, there is a reason why it is easier for you to be in present with the customers and not, and you aren't so comfortable with the text or with the message. And the reason is, let me open a Word file, okay? Just one moment, okay? Let me see. Okay. There is a study, a great study. I love that study. And it is developed by a guy called Albert Mehrabian. One moment. Albert Mehrabian, look, it was a Iran scientist based in USA, and he tried to understand how the others receive our message. And the conclusion is very interesting, and you are going to be in shock. Well, first, they receive the equation of the communication. It is 8, 37%, and finally 55%. So the other people receive in 8% the words we use. The tone of voice influence 37%. And what do you think influence 55%?
Non-verbal communication.
Of course, the body. And that's the reason, Karina, why it is much easier for you to talk in presence with the people and understand what they are feeling, okay? And not in text. Do you know a way to make our written conversations better? It is using the emojis.
Yeah, I could imagine that is why they're invented.
Because of course, the emojis probably. How old are you, Karina? Karina, did I make a question? Sorry, Karina.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay. What happens, Karina? 34 years old. I assume that you remember that before COVID times, emojis in Portugal are used by teenagers. Suddenly, when we are closed in our homes during the COVID times, and we can't be in presence with the others, so we started to use in companies the emojis, because it is completely different to say you need to solve this situation, or say you need to solve this situation.
Yeah, I understand, of course.
That's the reason, Karina. My cue for you is, please use the emojis, and with that, probably the others will answer with you with emojis too.
Yeah, for the clients,
Yes.
in the text messages, we'll always use the emojis, and sometimes it may be even too much. So what I explain to my managers in the shop, that they should read maybe the client and see if client uses a lot of images, we have to use also a lot. Some other people, like like higher age, no, like older people, probably they don't understand so many emojis. So like try to use less, or maybe try to call directly to the person. I understand that maybe, yeah, sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry. Do you know what you use when you told your manager what you said before? You are saying, please treat others the way they wanted to be treated.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Of course it was. Of course it was, Karina. Thanks a lot, Karina.
Thank you so much.
Now I just have here Biliana. It is this time that I can talk with you, Biliana. Oh, I can't talk with her. Okay, so no problem. Guys, it wasn't the proposal. Let me see the time. How many time I have here? Okay, I still have 15 minutes. That's great. Okay. It wasn't a thing that I ever thought before, but that's the point. Okay. I have created these teasers. I have created this, how could I say, this work. And I have developed this with a big company in Portugal. Well, to publish this in an academic international newspaper, I need at least 30 salespersons. Until today, I have 25 salespeople. So, if in your companies you want to use this training for free, okay? I'm not selling you anything. I'm telling you, if you want to use this in your company for free, I can offer this training in the condition I can use that data in my thesis. So I'm going to put here in my chat my email if you want to call me later for this. Okay? So, look, I want to thank and well, I want to invite you to follow my podcast. I have two podcasts, one in Portuguese, which I believe that you don't want to follow, and I understand why. And I have here an English podcast, Stop to Sell, where I receive guests specialized that talk about sales, marketing, and neuroscience. And at the end of each episode, they have an action plan where you can put the ideas in business. So you are invited to follow this podcast in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So now you have, if you want, 10 minutes to put your questions, to share your doubts with you, and of course, I will try to help you with my expertise.
I have two questions.
Okay, Anucha, let's go.
So you talked about Paul Ekman.
Paul Ekman.
I just wanted to know how you write that name, because
Okay. Okay. I will put here, one moment.
Ekman, okay.
Ekman, yes, that's the name. Okay.
And also, I was wondering if you had some books that you would recommend us to read, because you mentioned Emotions of Normal People, and I guess that you have many more.
Okay. So, what is your budget to know how many books I can help you.
I don't know, maybe you can tell us on 3 if you have some ideas.
Okay. I'm going to suggest you 4 books. Okay. One, which is the pillar, the basis of the foundation of the foundation. It is the Descartes Errors from António Damásio. Do you want I read it here?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay? This book is amazing. It is Brain Influence, 100 Ways to Pursue and Convince Consumers with Neuromarketing. And why it is amazing. I'm going to explain the reason, okay? You have here, for instance, the concept, okay? You have here 100 concepts. Okay, but this isn't neuro garbage, okay? In each concept, at the end of the concept, they explain which is the study, which is the academic investigator that created this concept. So this book is, look, if you are studying neuromarketing master, okay, this is a big help for your final project. Okay?
Okay.
Another book, The Buying Brain. This is the first book that was written about neuroscience and, how could I say, commercial world, okay? Buying and selling world. One thing, Anucha, and this is very important. Some ideas in this book now, in 2026, aren't correct. For instance, have you already heard about the typical brain? One moment. Reptical brain, emotional brain, analytical brain. This is a concept about the 60s, and nowadays we know it's wrong. Okay? And now, do you have a LinkedIn account, Anucha?
Yes.
Okay, please follow this guy, Thomas Zoeg Hamsoy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, could I ask you please to write it here in the document? Because, for example, me, because of the light, I don't see it clearly, the image.
Okay, I have another idea.
We cannot hear you, Professor. Maybe you have muted yourself.
He's muted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear him. I don't know if it is just me or...
I can't hear his voice too.
And now?
Yes, good.
Okay. I'm sorry. It was when I put, I'm going to explain. When I put the book here, it closed the micro and I don't understand that. What I'm trying to say is I'm going to put in our Zoom chat the links to Amazon, where you can see the title of the books and the writers. Do you agree with that?
Yes, please.
Okay. I don't know if, okay, one moment, okay? Okay, this last book that I'm trying to explain to you, it is amazing because it is new, explains all the concepts, and for me, it is amazing. Let me see, because here you can see the explication about the brain function for each neuromarketing and the neurosales concept. Okay? So I'm going to put here the books. One moment.
Yeah.
Okay. The first book is this, Descartes' Error. I'm going to put the link here. One more. Okay. First book here. Let's go to the second one. And it is Brain Influence. Look, Brain Influence, please, if you are in neuromarketing master, you should buy it because it will help you with the final project. One moment. I'm still searching. Okay, it's here. So let's go to the final one. And it is how to make people buy. Yes, it's here too. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I think that's all. No, just one, and it is buying brain. Okay. All the books that I have talked before, it's here now. Okay. So if you want to connect with me, and if later you have more questions to put me, please feel free to connect with me and text me, send me a message that I will try to answer as fast as I can.
I have one question.
Okay, great.
You said that we can arrange another training and you can have data to use in your thesis and research. Can you give us extra information about it? because I think that in my company and my friend's company, some people will be interesting about this, and I need to have some more details, and we can share the information on LinkedIn, for example.
Okay, Elena, this training, it will be about all these 3 pillars that we have seen this before, okay? First, you need to do intelligence, emotional self-evaluation, okay? Your leader will evaluate the salespeople too.
In leader, you mean the manager or the head of the team, yeah?
Yes. Okay. Then we are going to have a 7-hour training online.
Okay.
Then you are going to have self-disc report that I pay that for you. Then you are going to do, you spend 8 weeks working with all the concepts that I gave to you in this training.
Okay.
And at the end of the 8 weeks, we are going to analyze the data.
Okay, it's kind of long-term thing. As I said, it's pretty serious.
So it is, this is self-evaluation, disc report, training. It is only 7 hours, and later self-evaluation. Self-evaluation, it is, well, I can present you, it is in Portuguese, but you can see how fast it is, okay? Just one moment, okay?
Okay.
Okay. You just need to answer these 33 phrases if you completely disagree with one and completely agree with 5. Just that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And the data that I need is, what are the sales that you have before? What are the sales that you have before the training and after the training?
Okay.
Just
okay.
that.
Okay.
You don't pay anything.
It's
your
good.
company because I needed that information to complete my thesis and publish it.
Okay, great. I think that in my country, some companies will be interested in it, and I can contact you in LinkedIn if it's okay, or on mail, and to share extra information, because I need to share this information to my team too.
Okay, Elena.
It's great.
I appreciate it. And it's important because this is recorded, and it is important to say I'm doing this not for economic or commercial reasons. I'm doing this to finish my thesis.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Elena.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Guys, do you have more questions?
No, but actually I am looking at Thomas Zoega Ramsey.
Yes.
And the book is super expensive.
Let me see. One moment.
It's like 50 euros.
No. I send you the LinkedIn. Let me see. One moment, okay?
But I'm checking also his LinkedIn, and there are good things. I will have a look.
No. Later.
But the Amazon book is...
Okay. One moment. Okay. Let me see. No, I don't pay that. One moment. Probably, okay, I remember. Probably if you go to his website, it is cheaper if you buy his website.
Okay, I will check.
Okay, Anushka.
Okay, I will have a look.
Okay. Well, guys, I need to be honest. Okay, Anushka don't have any questions, and the others. Aditi, Axel, Biliana, Karina, Melanie, do you have more questions?
Nope.
No.